Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid! Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Alondra Villarreal. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Interesting thing about the Shut Up Kid drop. So earlier today, I drove down to New Orleans and then back the services today for Jimmy Ott's father. For those who didn't hear, Jimmy, who's been on sports radio forever, his father, Al Ott, was a member of the LSU's 1958 national championship team and was a longtime coach. Most notably, I think, as I've gathered from his time at Edna Carr, when Edna Carr was still at junior high as well. But I was walking out today, and a gentleman stopped me and shook my hand. And he says he's Larry Holder's father-in-law, and he brings up the Shut Up Kid drop. Can you play that again? The Shut Up Kid drop.
You're a loser, Matt!
Oh yeah, the You're a Loser, Matt. So those people have asked about that from time to time. I think that was COVID. Paulie, was that COVID when that happened? It feels like that's been at least then.
It was around that time frame.
Yeah. So it's been 5-6 years, something like that. It's Larry Holder's heathen children. He's, this is what kind of father Larry Holder is, right? Your children are hopping around saying, take the L, Matt, calling an adult a loser. And what does their dad do? He doesn't correct them. He's videoing it to put it on social media. Lodge, what would you do if your dad caught you calling an adult a loser? You're 8, 9 years old. You're a loser.
I would get in so much trouble.
Right?
I would get in so much trouble.
Paulie, what about you? What about your dad? What would your dad have done?
Oh, we'd have had a good talking to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What does Larry Holder do?
Laugh.
Videos it. Puts it on social media. Anyway, it turns out the eldest of the heathen Holder children has graduated the 8th grade and is off to Brother Martin next year as a freshman in high school. So that's been a hot minute, right? If the heathen Holder is now a freshman in high school, I think we need
It's been a minute, yeah.
We need to do a where are they now? I know his grandfather told me that he's going to Brother Martin.
You just did the where are they now?
Yeah, I know, but with the kid.
Yeah.
Let's bring the kid up here, put him in studio, let's talk about it. What happened, what does he remember, all that sort of stuff. Does he like the fact that I tell him to shut up every day? Does he have friends in school that he tells, hey, that's me on the thing, the shut up kid guy, the You're a Loser, Matt? Probably.
Yeah. I would.
Right? Wouldn't
I would.
you?
Yeah.
It's like the Nirvana, the Nevermind album. Like the little baby, the naked baby going after the dollar bill who sued.
I was about to say, well, you might want to be careful.
Yeah.
He might end up suing you.
I don't think he got anything for that, though.
The kid?
Yeah, the naked
Nirvana baby? No, he
didn't get anything for that. Let's be real. That's kind of awesome.
Dude.
Like,
you're iconic.
Yeah, you're the baby on the Nirvana album.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you complaining about? He's not complaining about anything. He's trying to get a cheap buck. That's what he's trying to do. But don't come after me, heathen Holder child. You get nothing from me. No soup for you. No money for you. None. None. Nunca. Is that right, Elijah? Nunca?
Never.
Nunca?
So, yeah, that works.
Yeah, never. No! What would be none?
Just say it with an accent.
No.
No.
I took 4 years of Spanish in high school and 3 years in college.
Yeah.
I have a basic understanding of the language. It's been I'm very out of practice, so translations and vocab might be I'd struggle a little bit right now.
fine.
¿Cuál es la fecha de hoy?
Es el 7 de julio,
There you go.
2025.
¿Cuántos años tienes?
27.
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
No sé.
Yeah, I know. There's one downtown.
Good
There's one downtown
Yeah.
a few blocks away, still falling down. Anyway, we'll have to run it back. But shout out though to Brother Martin. So my dad went to high school. He's probably the second class ever at Brother Martin.
It wouldn't be as funny if you redid it now. Because he would have like that kind of deep, kind of still high voice.
Oh, I think it'd be hilarious if he was squeaky.
And then he like, his voice cracked while he was doing
Yeah.
it.
You're a loser, man. That would be way funnier.
True.
That would be. That's how you turn it on him. That's how we do it. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us here. Good to be back from vacation. Next week, we are at SEC Football Media Days in Atlanta, GA. Looking forward to that. Off the Bench with Hester and Flynn, Hunt Palmer Show, and AFR, all from Radio Row, all next week in Atlanta there at the Omni and the College Football Hall of Fame. I'm assuming our setup will be at the College Football Hall of Fame again, but very much looking forward to it. Our coverage presented by Parrish Construction and Roofing, and we're thrilled to be bringing you that. Remember, we are giving away $10,000 cash, parrishbuilt.com. All you got to do is sign up for a free no-obligation roofing inspection. You're automatically entered to win $10,000 cash. We'll announce the winner on next Friday, the 18th, when we're back from SEC Football Media Days. Well before then, we will have a much better sense of the LSU baseball roster for 2026. That's because this weekend, starting on Sunday, incidentally in Atlanta. Last year, Media Days was in Dallas, and the MLB Draft was in Fort Worth. So they happen to be in the same place. This year, the MLB Draft is in Atlanta while we're there for SEC Media Days. Just a weird coincidence, I guess. But we're going to be keeping an eye on the current LSU Tigers, who we're expecting at some point to hear their name called or their phones ring to see if, in fact, they'll end up signing a professional contract and ending their college careers or returning to LSU. And there's, a handful of prospects, both pitchers and position players, that are fascinating. Jacob Myers is one that I think this is a no-brainer. At some point, his name will be called. He'll sign a professional contract. Zach Cowan is going to be an interesting one as well. He probably projects at the next level as, a setup guy, a three-out guy out of the bullpen. Does he come back, try to earn a starting spot at LSU? Maybe comes back and becomes the closer. I don't know what Zach Cowan will do. I think that's an interesting one, just depending on what his where his interests really lie. I mean, someone will call him and will make an offer to pick him. It's just a matter of if he takes it or if he comes back. But among the pitchers, the one that I think has the most interesting decision is Chase Shores. And I know you're probably going to roll your eyes and say, Matt, he's 6'8", he throws 100, he just blew up in the postseason, including Omaha. Every scout saw it, and he's going to get $2 million and he's going to sign. And you'd probably be right. That is very likely what is going to happen. Chase Shores is probably going to be a guy that goes somewhere in the compensatory round or early in round 2, and will probably make around $2 million, maybe a little north of that. But the most interesting part about Shores' decision is he could bet on himself. As you look at Chase Shores at the next level, his floor, I had this conversation while I was out with an NL scout who said, look, Chase Shores, his floor at the next level is a 7th, 8th inning setup guy. Basically what he was at LSU this year. That's his floor at the next level. Come out of the bullpen, throwing gas, throw your 90-mile-an-hour slider. Like, that's the basement expectation for a guy like this. The middle expectation would be he becomes a closer, right? And so now you're talking about a difference between making, 12 to 15 million a year as a setup guy to making potentially 20 million a year as a closer. And then maybe the ceiling would be he becomes a frontline starter. Because with his stuff, he's not a down-the-line starter in Major League Baseball. Like, he's not going to be somebody's fifth, number 4 or 5. He is a front-of-the-rotation talent. He throws 101 miles an hour. He's got a slider with a 20-inch horizontal break. I mean, it starts at the batter and ends up in the other batter's box, and it's 90 miles an hour. It's unfair. He develops one more pitch. He's Paul Skeens. I'm not saying he's going to be the best pitcher on the planet, develop all the moxie, makeup, arm care, all the stuff that Skeens. My point is the stuff, the ability is what Paul Skeens is. Now, I got to command it and own it and all that sort of stuff. But that is a front of the rotation type starter. Stuff, if it all develops for him. So, if you're Chase Shores, and because you had Tommy John, you have another year of leverage. He could come back and still have leverage. You come back to LSU as the Friday night guy, go dominate the SEC, and potentially be a top 5, top 10 pick next year, where your signing bonus jumps from maybe $2 million to $9, $10, $11 million? Or do you take the bird in hand with the $2 million likely that he's going to be offered this year and you go start your pro career? That's the decision Chase Shores has to make. My guess is he's going to take $2 million. He's going to sign a pro contract, and in very short order, he will be in a big league team's bullpen. Whoever drafts him, especially if that's a team that is contending, he is a guy that would very quickly elevate and be in someone's bullpen to help them now if they're a contender. And then he'd spend the offseason and next year trying to become a starter in a farm system somewhere. So Shores, I think, has the most interesting decision to make. Among the position players, look, Tanner Reeves, I believe, is going to be back. He's going to be your starting second baseman next year. That's all the information I've gathered. Things could change during the draft. We'll see. But they are expecting Tanner Reeves to return and to be the starting second baseman. Chris Stanfield, they are expecting to be drafted and to sign, but there was this very similar situation to Michael Braswell a year ago, where they had anticipated Braswell getting drafted and signing. He went undrafted, and then they had a logjam because Milam was moving to the left side of the infield, and then you had Braswell, but you had brought in Tanner Reeves, and you had brought in Dickinson, and you were expecting Braswell not to be there. He was, and thank goodness he was, because he was fantastic for you defensively this year, but it created a logjam. Similar thing could happen with Stanfield next year, because the expectation, just like Milam was moving to short this year, Curiel's moving to center next year. So what happens with Stanfield is going to be fascinating. But the one really to keep an eye on is Ethan Fry. The expectation is that Ethan Fry is going to come back. I believe they have a very strong combo of rev share NIL money. I don't believe I know for Ethan Fry. And he's a guy that has a massive ceiling because he's 6'6", he's a great athlete, he hits for average and power. But the problem as a prospect for Ethan Fry is that there's no big league team that has seen him play a position. So until they see him play a position, it's hard to justify using a top-tier pick on a power-hitting right-handed bat because those are a dime a dozen. It's why Jared Jones is going to be a 4th, 5th round guy. That's probably where Ethan Fry would project, somewhere around there. But if he comes back and plays left field and hits 320 bombs, now you're talking about a guy that might be a first-round pick next year. So Fry is going to be another interesting one to watch. Again, I think their expectation is he will be back, and if he is, he'll be your starting left fielder. Like I think if all goes according to plan, this is how the lineup would look next year. Aaron Beatty would catch. Some combination of Dardar, Cerna, Yaman would be the first base DH. Reeves at second, Milam at short, Braden Simpson, the transfer from High Point, at third, and then your outfield left or right would be Fry, Curiel, Brown. I think, again, long way to go, and it never ends how it starts. But I think that's how today, if you had to draw it up, how they think it would look, that's probably how it would look. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by Parish Restoration. ParishRestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor. Maybe you've had water intrusion with all this rain. Knock it out. Look, that can fester. It can cause mildew and bad odor. Maybe you got pet odor, sweat odor, smoke odor. Parish Restoration can help. They'll come in, spray the patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. Remember, dry fog. Dry fog. So you're not pulling up carpet, you're not taking out furniture, you're not cutting sheetrock. It's a dry fog. It's totally safe for plants and pets and everything. It's Parish Restoration. You need mold remediation and restoration, they can do it. ParishRestoration.com. ParishRestoration.com. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Again, the draft starts on Sunday, so we'll have plenty of coverage for you on the draft coming up Monday, of course. We'll be at Media Days, but all of the fallout of the draft we'll know at that point. Monday, by the way, is LSU's day at SEC Media Day. So a week from today, massive day here on the show. Make sure you're with us. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. When we return, the Pete Prisco over at CBS Sports put out his top 100 players in the NFL for 2025. We'll tell you what Saints made the list. That's next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Action Industries is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. They're also a pretty great industrial contractor. And I love telling you about Action Industries because they're a great local business. It's been around for 43 years. And while they've continued to grow and expand, they've done so in a way in which they know who they are. Listen, there are massive mega contractors, the names of these companies, which you know. I was mentioned earlier, the business report, top 100 privately owned companies in the Baton Rouge area. A lot of them are industrial contractors, and you know their names. These companies that can do these $200 million jobs. That's not Action Industries. That's not what they want to be. They know what they are. Sometimes you hire that mega contractor for your 100-person job, and you feel like you're not getting their best. With Action Industries, that's their sweet spot. You want their best people? Action Industries. Action, INDINC.com, Action Industries Incorporated. Exemplary safety record. They do beautiful work. It's Action Industries.
Market.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Hey, remember, you can email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Mike had asked a question about Trey Holly. I'll do that in the next segment because I wanted to talk. The Doak Walker Award odds came out today, so I want to talk a little bit about Caden Durham in the next segment. So I'll make that an LSU running back segment. We'll get that in about 10 minutes from right now. Pete Prisco from CBS put out a list of the top 100 players in the NFL for 2025. So I bit. I'm not someone who loves lists. I don't necessarily think they're anything more than just conversation or fodder, but sometimes it can be interesting just to see what other people think as far as this collection of people. I like Patrick. He's got Mahomes number 1, Myles Garrett 2, Saquon 3. Like I'm not gonna like pound the table because Saquon is 3 and not. Who cares? Whatever. Who cares? I was more interested to see. Okay, like I wonder what Saints players he's got in there, right? So again, top 100 players in the NFL. There's 32 teams in the league. 100 players on this list. So I printed the list with all of the Saints players on it. Here it is. Paul, I don't know if you want to get a close-up of this. I got a list right here with the names of all the Saints players on it. How about that? It's a really extensive list with all their names. Yeah. There it is. There's the list. There's the list right there. If you're listening and not watching, it's a blank sheet of paper. The top 100 players in the NFL, and there ain't a single freaking New Orleans Saint on it? 100? Like, not even guy 100? Not one. Demario Davis? He's got to be in somebody's top 100, right? Alvin Kamara, without the injury at the end of the season, he's a 1,000-yard rusher. Nobody? What about, is the long snapper any good? I don't know. I'm not even mad at Pete Prisco. I'm not mad at him one iota. I'm using this. Been a hot minute since we've had a good let's crap on the Saints segment, huh? I'm not doing that right now, though. That's not what this is. This is an opportunity to, again, illustrate the need to recalibrate our expectations for 2025. Y'all, Las Vegas has the Saints win total over under 5.5. Man, Vegas ain't always right. Fine. Let's say they're wrong by 3 full games. You're 8-9. You're still not making the playoffs. The division odds at DraftKings right now, the Saints are plus 1,200. That's 4th out of 4. If you're wondering, Tampa minus 110, Atlanta plus 250, Carolina plus 400, New Orleans plus 1,200. Carolina's odds are 3 times better than yours. You've got a first-year head coach. You've got a rookie quarterback about as old as Scott Bakula in that movie, Necessary Roughness. You were 31st in the NFL in rush defense last year. You added Devon Gottschall, who I love. Is that going to make you better? You were 27th against the pass. You added Quincy Riley. You were 20th in sacks. You added Chris Rumpf. What do you think is going to be different here? Y'all, this is the same convo. This is the same premise that I had the last 2 years about Derek Carr. I'm not going to sit here and yell about Derek Carr again. Y'all know how I feel, and I was right. But it's the same thing I told you the last 2 off seasons. I looked at every objective and subjective data point outside of this black and gold bubble, and I told you the same damn thing over and over again. He's mid. Every single Pro Football Focus, every quarterback tier list, every ranking rating, you name it. Anonymous front office executives, coaches, everybody. Derek Carr was a lower mid-tier, upper bottom-tier starting quarterback in the NFL. It's what he was. Told you over and over and over again. I got called a hater by a lot of you for 2 years. I got 2 more years of evidence to show you what the previous 9 years of evidence of his career showed us and told us. A lot of y'all just didn't want to believe it. Well, here we are again. Man, forget Vegas. I had somebody comment on one of the videos on YouTube. Man, we don't still have Alvin Kamara? We don't still have Tyrann Mathieu? We don't still have Cam Jordan? We don't still have DeMario Davis? You just rattled off a bunch of 30-year-old, overpaid, aging veterans who are well past their prime. What do you think you're actually getting with those dudes right now? Come on. Every convo that I had with you about Derek Carr the last 2 years is the same convo right now about this New Orleans Saints team, because every single objective and subjective data point is telling you the exact same thing, all of them. And it doesn't matter if it's Las Vegas odds to win the division or win totals or Pete Prisco's top 100 or any other objective or subjective data point. They're all telling you the same thing. The Saints this year are going to stink. And you know it. Do a blind resume. First, you won 5 games a year ago, first-year head coach, rookie starting quarterback, rookie starting left tackle. You didn't dramatically improve your defense anywhere from a defense that was atrocious last year, 31st against the run, 27 against the pass, 20th in sacks. Like, look at it all objectively. They're not going to be good. The New Orleans Saints are plus 30,000 to win the Super Bowl. That's dead last in the NFL. Listen to me. The Cleveland Browns have better odds to win the Super Bowl than your New Orleans Saints. The New York Jets, the New York Giants, the Tennessee Titans. The Saints are plus 30,000. The Carolina Panthers are plus 12,000. You're a distant last. But that's okay. And I'm good with it. And this is the punchline. Like, I'm good with it. because you need to suck before you can be good again. There was no seamless transition from Drew Brees into the next era. There was no Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers situation. It didn't exist in New Orleans. You tried it with Jameis. Maybe if Devin White never horse collars him and he tears his ACL when they're 5-2 and leading the division, maybe they go on a playoff run, and who knows what might happen. It didn't work out that way. Sean Payton left. They hired Dennis Allen. He's a joke. He's gone. You go the Derek Carr. We all know the end of the story. Now you know the rest of the story. It's what it is. So you're going to stink before you can be good again. The best example I'll give you is Cincinnati. They hit rock bottom. They drafted Joe Burrow. They even stunk his rookie year. They won 4 games. But you could see, even in their bad record, before Burrow's knee exploded, that they were pointing in the right direction. And that's what I want to see from this team. I'm not going into this season. Like, you're not going to hear me on Mondays after Saints games blowing a gasket because they lost a game. It's just not going to happen. Because I'm at a point where I have recalibrated my expectations for this team. I know what they are. I want to see Kellen Moore manage a game. I want to see what this Kellen Moore, Doug Nussmeier offense looks like. I want to see what a new 3-4 style defense can look like this year under Brandon Staley. I want to see, can Kelvin Banks actually be a franchise left tackle? Can you actually get anything out of Kendre Miller, or is that just a total bust, wash, wasted pick? Can a guy like Kool-Aid McKinstry become a competent starting cornerback in the NFL? What about a Quincy Riley as a rookie? Could he become a guy that makes a team and becomes a starting caliber player for you? I don't know the answer to those questions. You got an aging linebacker core. Could Danny Stutzman be an answer there? Maybe. These are all maybes. But these are the things that I'm interested in for the New Orleans Saints in 2025. Not having arguments with you or anybody else about whether or not this team is going to contend, because if you are someone who actually believes this team is going to contend for anything other than the number 1 overall pick, you're a fool. You're the same fools that were yelling at me for 2 years about Derek Carr calling me a hater when I was completely right. So, no, I don't care necessarily that Pete Prisco didn't have a single New Orleans Saint in his top 100 players in 2025 list, because it's Pete Prisco's list, and I don't care what he puts in there. It's just another data point to illustrate the thing that I'm telling you. They're going to stink this year. Accept the fact that they're going to stink and go into the season with a different expectation than you've had for much of the last 2 decades. It's after further review.
AFR.
I went by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness earlier today. It was really cool, man. Got to see Mary and Mimi and Michael, the whole gang over there. They've been great to me. And I tell you, man, I haven't felt this good in a long time. And Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has been part of the holistic changes that I've made in my life that have helped me lose weight, get in shape, and feel great. But the other thing that's been really encouraging, look, I get it, the funny logo, the name, all the stuff. And yes, they do ED treatments, but that's just a fraction of their business. Hormone replacement therapy is so critical. Every single human, you, whoever you are not exempt. Every one of us, as we age, our body will produce less of the hormones that contribute to how we feel. Hormone replacement therapy can be a massive help to getting you back to a healthy, vital life. And also for men, healthy testosterone levels help things like cardiovascular health, prostate health. Learn more, a simple blood test can help you. Also things like BPC 157 for recovery, NAD plus for cellular optimization. Learn more. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
You in a mood over there? I mean, normally when you're here, I know you're here because it's just all grunge.
Yeah, I didn't.
Today it's been
that's why
all Justin Timberlake.
Well, that's why I didn't want to do it, because I was like, okay, it's the same thing every time. Let me switch it up. I know you vibe with it. I vibe with it too.
Because tomorrow Musso's back, and
I can switch it up.
I'm gonna be listening to.
I'll switch it up.
Generic Musso
Trap
music.
beats.
Until this time of day, and then we're going to start get the Marley and all the stuff that Musso starts doing around
Buffalo Soldier.
4:37 in the afternoon, yeah.
I'll switch it up.
Dime bag and whatnot. shout out. You probably
Daryl?
never heard that, huh?
I think Dimebag Daryl.
No.
I'm like, you got moves up here playing Pantera?
No, not Dimebag Daryl. No.
I don't know who Dimebag is.
No, that was a song
I
that
don't know
was
what
very
Dimebag is.
commonly played at Fred's in my era. I'm trying to remember who sang it now. Oh, why? It's on the tip of my tongue.
Hang on. The song's called Dimebag.
Yeah, I know the lyrics too, but I'm not going to sing them right now. It's going to hit
Wait,
me.
by Cross Canadian Ragweed?
No.
Oh.
No.
I'm like, what do you know about CCR?
No, it's okay. It's a it'll hit me later. It'll hit me later.
Okay.
And I'll blurt it out. Probably in the middle of talking about Caden Durham. All right, it's after further review. Thanks for being here with us. Glad to be back. No guest today, just me talking. I got a lot to talk about. Glad you're with us. Somebody did send a text earlier on the text line, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Tony said, Scott Bakula, low blow, dude. Can we get a field goal kicker from that team? Yeah, man. Kathy Ireland from Necessary Roughness was the field goal kicker. It was awesome. Sinbad was on that team. It's a great movie. You haven't seen it. Mike said, Matt, could you comment on the Trey Holly situation? There was a lot that happened. One of the witnesses against him was arrested. And the case was supposed to be heard today. It was either today or it was Wednesday. It was either the 7th or the 9th. And apparently in the parish courthouse lost air condition. The AC, this is the thing. They lost the air condition went out, so they had to postpone the trial again. Like, y'all, if that ain't some of the most backwards Louisiana stuff ever heard, you got a man who has had his life on hold for a year and a half now, already missed one full college football season because of accusations against him, the most severe of which have already been thrown out. He was not indicted by a grand jury. So there's lesser charges which are still floating out there. Has not had his day in court, and now you're telling me the reason that this is getting pushed back further is because you ain't got no AC in the courthouse? Can we get some window units in that thing? How about a portable AC system? Come pump that through there. Can we move it to a different courthouse? I mean, to delay justice further because you can't fix the AC in the courthouse? I mean, that is some country stuff right there. Give me a break. I already feel terrible for Trey Holly because he was so adamant in proclaiming his innocence, and the most severe charges, the grand jury didn't indict him, which, the old saying is a grand jury would indict a ham sandwich. I mean, it is very easy, relatively easy to get an indictment. An indictment is just there is enough evidence to proceed with charges. That's all it is. It's not a conviction. It's just, okay, there's enough here to proceed. And the grand jury said, there ain't even enough here to proceed. And you're telling me that dude is having his life put on hold even more because you ain't got AC in the courthouse? I mean, I'm tight with River City's 1 hour air. We get one of the big yellow vans up there. Just pump some stuff. I mean, can we, it's absurd. I mean, it's almost like it's almost like a joke that that's actually the thing that's delaying this man's trial. God bless. As far as what people are saying, the arrest of the witness, I have no clue. I'm not a legal expert. I'm not going to pretend to be. So I just want him to get his day in court so he can get on with his life because it's super unfortunate that it's been delayed as long as it already is. Speaking of, River City's 1 hour air. No, it's not till next hour. We'll tell you about it next hour. All right, it's after further review. I am a little short on time here. I want to make sure I have plenty of time to talk about the Caden Durham story. No, I'll do it now. It's fine. So the Doak Walker Award every year goes to the best running back in college football. And the updated odds were released today, and Caden Durham is on the list. He's 50-1. That means he has the 23rd best odds to win the award. Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame leads the way at 3-1. Nick Singleton's at 6-1. Desmond Reed at 9-1. Darius Taylor 10-1. Katron Allen, who many people got to know his name in the college football playoff, at 14-1. So just a few of the names. Le'Veon Moss, Baton Rouge, Estruma High, Texas A&M, coming off a devastating injury. He's at 28-1. So it's a little interesting to see Durham that low at 50-1, but it is also evidence of the fact that sometimes it's hard to see the forest through the trees, right? We have seen Caden Durham play. We know what he's capable of, and it's exciting to see what he could be this year. But I figured, let's put pen to paper and kind of look at what this would look like, because Durham a year ago ran for only 753 yards. But it's less the total and more the yards per carry that's exciting. He averaged 5.5 yards a carry, 5.3 to be exact. But Caden Durham only had 140 carries. So let me put that into perspective. Let's take Leonard Fournette's first 2 years. I'm not saying Caden Durham's Leonard Fournette. I'm just using this as an illustration, understand. So Fournette's first year, his freshman year in 2014, he ran 187 times for 1,034 yards, an average of 5.5 yards per carry. Basically the exact average that Durham had. He just had an extra 47 carries. So if you'd given Durham another 50 rushes at 5 yards a carry, he's right at 1,000 yards. In his sophomore year, when Fournette led the nation in rushing, he ran 300 times for 1,953 yards. Incredible season for Fournette. Averaged 6.5 yards per carry. If you look at, and I don't know that Durham's going to get 300 rushing attempts. I don't think he needs 300. Now, if LSU makes a playoff run and you end up playing 14, 15, 16 games, maybe so. It could get that high. But I think the yards per carry is what's more relevant here. Like Ashton Genty last year. Remember, the season that we just talked about with Fournette, his 2015, the fantastic year he had, he ran the ball 300 times, which felt like a ton. Ashton Genty last year at Boise ran 374 times. Like, it was almost absurd. Of course, he put up a monster year. He was a great running back playing in a crappy league, and he got 374 rushing attempts. That's why I'm not as impressed by his rushing total, because of the competition and the attempts. You carry the ball 40 times a game, yeah, you're gonna stack compile. I think Ollie Gordon is probably a better comp. Ollie Gordon 2 years ago in 2023, it was amazing how Ollie Gordon just fell off the face of the earth last year at Oklahoma State. But look at Ollie Gordon's 2023 and say, could Caden Durham do that? Ollie Gordon in 2023 ran the ball 285 times, played in 14 games. Could Durham effectively double his rushing attempts? And if he did, Gordon ran for 1,732 that year. A season like that is very possible for Caden Durham. The real question is, in LSU's offense, will it warrant 280 rushing attempts for Caden Durham, or does it look more like 200 for Durham, 100, 120 for Caleb Jackson, and then another 30-ish carries maybe for someone like Harlem Berry? And I'll omit Trey Holly for now until we know what his future may be on the team. Like, that really is the question, is how much of a by committee will it be? Because if you wanted to give a healthy Caden Durham 300 rushing attempts, he would clear 1,500 rushing yards easily, I believe, and would be in contention for Doak Walker and all the other national awards. I just don't know, especially considering what we heard from Caleb Jackson during spring, the attention to detail, getting his body right, the acknowledgement that he bought a lot of the hype going into his sophomore season, how much of a struggle it was, why he made the decision to come back to LSU and not enter the transfer portal, wanting to be here by his family. They've been his biggest cheerleaders and confidants, and they've supported him, and he's got a role within this offense. Love to see that from Caleb Jackson. But if you have those two guys as a 1-2 punch, you probably don't end up with a scenario where Durham gets enough carries to be in contention for national awards. But that's all something that remains to be seen, because at this point a year ago, we weren't talking about Caden Durham. Y'all told you. I can go back and look at my notebooks from fall camp last year. I'm not sure I wrote down Caden Durham's name twice the entire fall camp. All the conversation was about Caleb Jackson. Things happen. John Emery gets hurt. You knew what you had there in Josh Williams, but Caden Durham got that opportunity against South Carolina, kaboom, and he never looked back. Even playing with dislocated toes and a steel plate in his shoe, he was still awesome. What does a healthy Caden Durham with maybe 100 more rushing attempts look like? Well, could be a guy that ends up as a Doak Walker finalist, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're aboard with us. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Londra will do Tigers and the Pros to wrap up the hour. Don't you move. It's AFR.
After further review.
I got back to my office today after vacation, and the Baton Rouge Business Report, Top 100 Companies Report, was in my mailbox. Opened it up, flipping through, and lo and behold, there in the top 100, right there in the 60s, Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. A big shout out and congratulations to my friend Darren James. What an incredible honor making that list, the top 100 private companies in our area. I've already told you, he's in the top 1% of realtors in America. It's just further validation. Dude's going to need a new office for all the trophies, but ultimately what all that means, what all of those acknowledgments mean, is he gets results. So if you're thinking of selling your home and you want the realtor that sells more homes than anyone, you want Darren James. Check him out online, agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Cover Me, a million times better song.
Cover Me is a great song.
If you're going Candlebox, you got to go Cover Me. Miss Me with Far Behind.
They're going to be at LaBerge Saturday.
That's right. I would love to be there, but it's Drew's birthday party, so I'm going to have to miss it.
I mean, that's a
you
national
going?
holiday. To Drew's birthday party?
No.
I was like, I didn't get the invite.
To Candlebox. I don't think you want to come to an 11-year-old birthday party.
No, I don't think I'm going to go.
No. If you are
It'd be
going,
fun, though.
if you are going to Candlebox, do me a solid, take a video when they do Cover Me.
I might go.
If you go, do me a solid, take a video when they do.
I got you.
All right. Alondra. Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
So quick question before I get started on this. When we were talking about Paul Skeens earlier, did you give like his year, like a look at his like full season? I was doing something while you were talking about him. It's a banger. Well, anyway, on the season, I don't know if you gave his season numbers, and if you missed it earlier, Paul Skeens made the All-Star team.
Remember what I told you earlier about knowing your range?
Yeah.
Saying, I'm not staying in my box.
You're not staying in your box.
And that's what
That's
happens
fine.
when you don't stay in your box.
I'm trying to stay in mine.
You're doing a great job.
So if you missed it earlier on the All-Star team, he has a 1.94 ERA on the season, 125 strikeouts, only 30 walks. Poor guy. 4-7. Cy Young numbers. And the man has a losing record. Woo. Free Paul Skeens.
Please.
Free him.
Do it.
Josh Smith. He went 1 for 3 yesterday.
Shout out.
Unfortunately, the Rangers did not win that game. But Josh Smith, he's real hot right now. And he has the...
so hot right now.
He's so hot right now. Leading the Rangers in average. And in 44 games as their leadoff hitter, he's at 284. And he scored 42 runs in 77 games, which leads the Rangers. DJ LeMahieu, rumor mill on DJ that the Yankees are in the market for a new third baseman. And I know Jazz Chisholm is their current third baseman, but his natural position is second base. They're trying to... Word on the street is DJ might be getting traded before the deadline because he's only batting .266 with 2 home runs, 12 RBI on the season in 142 plate appearances. So smoke is just not cutting it for the Yankees. That is Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Had a buddy, good listener to the show for a long time, Jerry, text me on Saturday. Said, hey, man, go over to South Point Volkswagen. You like the Atlas or what's your thoughts on the Atlas? I told him. I was like, hey, look, had an Atlas, traded in for the Cross Sport. Erica still drives her Atlas, loves it. It's really a matter of do you want the third row of seats or not? Atlas Cross Sport just takes out the third row. All the amenities, everything else stays the same. Manufactured right here in the US of A, their Chattanooga, Tennessee plant. Driving a Volkswagen, it's culture, it's life. You got to check it out. All the great German engineering without the cost and all the great safety features. South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. SouthPointVW.com. SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? All right, y'all, put a button here in hour number 2. When we come back, an LSU baseball commit wins National Player of the Year. And before you say, well, he'll never show up on campus, not so fast. I'll explain when we come back.
After further review.
I'm looking up at that screen. I can read it all perfectly. 2020. Williamson I, 924-2020. Monday, July 7th, 2025. Word. I don't know why it says word on that screen, but it does. I can read it all. I can see 2020 because Dr. Blake Williamson, coming up on my 7-year LASIK anniversary. I did my LASIK 7 years ago. It was September 11th, by the way, is my LASIK anniversary. And it's a day that it changed my life. And you can't say that often about something when you say, I changed my life, and you mean it literally. But that is in a literal sense when you can wake up in the morning and just see and not have to reach for your glasses or shove contact lens in your eye and change your life. And if you're thinking to yourself, Matt, I can't afford it, there are financing options available. And there's a calculator on their website at williamsoni.com. The lifetime of glasses and contacts is actually more expensive than LASIK. Check it out. Change your life. It's the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020.